Starting next week on February 4th, we are planning to go to an earlier print schedule, and we are guaranteeing home delivery by 7 a.m. And that's huge for us.
So really the Dispatch is now going to be officially a morning paper?
Officially. Right now, half the people get it in the morning, half the people get it in the afternoon.
Right.
Most of the single copies are out there by 7 o'clock. But with the new print schedule, what we're looking to do is add consistency to the paper so that when you go out to your mailbox, the paper will be there.
Now you say you're going to guarantee the paper will be delivered by 7.
Guaranteed.
And what does that mean? What if they miss?
Well, you would basically get that paper for free. So even if it comes in at 7:02, give us a call. And basically what we're going to do is extend your subscription for 1 extra day down. So you will not have to pay for that paper. The way it's going to work, though, is I would say we're probably going to be off our presses closer to 1 a.m. Gives the carriers plenty of time to get it. So I don't think it's going to be a problem. I think most people, especially in the Oneida and close surrounding areas, will probably have their paper closer to 4 or 5 in the morning.
Wow.
So that even if you're an early bird, you're getting up, you can still get that paper. We do the 7 o'clock because we deliver quite a few rural areas, all the way down to Morrisville and farther south, Camden, farther north.
Right.
So we want to make sure that they're part of the guarantee.
Thanks so much. Is this every day, including Saturday?
Yeah, that is a good question. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to make more of a general blanket statement for the public of saying 7 o'clock. I did not want to start out by saying sometimes 7, sometimes 8 on the weekends, because consistency is the key that I'm shooting for here. So that 7 o'clock even on Saturdays. Saturday is a day that still some people go to work, and it's a day that a lot of people do sleep in, but I want to make sure that your paper is still out there. So for some reason you get up early, you can go out there and your paper is going to be there.
Why are you doing this? Why move to a morning paper? And again, for years the Dispatch was an afternoon paper. In recent years, people have noticed the paper coming out earlier and earlier.
Right.
But as you say, a lot of the deliverers don't deliver the paper till the afternoon.
Right.
Why is a morning paper preferable to an afternoon paper?
Well, one of the things that we want to do is, again, consistency. When we put out the paper and the news is over with, it gets done at around 2 in the morning. By the time you get the paper at 5 in the afternoon, it's old news. It's 17 hours old or something like that, and so we want to make sure that we're giving you the most current news first thing in the morning, so that when you're off to work or you're off to school, you already know the day's events that have happened the previous day versus waiting until the afternoon. I think, personally, when I get up in the morning, it's the time where you're having your coffee at home, you're turning on the news in the morning, and you're getting either Syracuse or Utica or the national news. But then you can go out and you can get the paper, and now you can also find out what's going on locally to be well informed going on throughout the rest of the day. There's many studies that have been done. Circulation is declining across the board for newspapers, and doing our surveys, one of the biggest things we found out about why it was declining was that it was just old news. By the time they got home, they'd already heard about it over the water cooler or over the radio, and by the time they got the paper at home, they already knew it, so why read it? Right. The trend of the newspapers is to be a morning paper, to get it there so you have the information before you go to work. All across the country, afternoon papers are falling left and right, to the point where there's only like 1% of them that are actually out there as an afternoon paper.
Wow.
There's none in Utica, and there's none in Syracuse. The Rome Sentinel is probably the only one around the area that is here.
You deliver the paper in the afternoon. You had to deal with all those kids, I imagine, and tell them from now on you're delivering the papers in the morning. Was that a problem?
It was probably the single biggest issue that we ran up against in making this decision. And this decision isn't one that we went into very lightly at all. We crunched a lot of numbers and looked at the community, and one of the biggest things was the kids after school delivering the paper. Surprisingly, what we found out is that most of them are going to deliver in the morning and are actually excited about it because it gave them now the versatility to do after-school activities which they couldn't before.
Right.
Now if you want to go out for drama club or you want to join the football team, you're able to and still make a little money in before school. So it actually worked out well. We did lose some. I have some numbers here. We have about 26 kids that have walking routes throughout the area, and we are losing 11
A number of the
them.
kids who just couldn't do this or decided they didn't want to do it.
Right.
Has that opened up job opportunities? If somebody has a child who's looking for a newspaper route, is this a good time to call you?
Well, I mentioned that we lost 11 carriers, and we haven't even gone to the day yet, and I've already replaced all those carriers with other kids, as well as adults. Adults now look at this as an opportunity to earn some little extra income before they even go to the regular job.
Right.
Kids are home, they're sleeping, it doesn't affect their home life to get up a little bit earlier and go out and deliver these things. So we've actually replaced them all, and we haven't had a problem. However, once the date hits and people realize that that is very early in the morning and you have February weather, then you might have some people who say, I don't think I want to do this. So we are always taking applications to have a contingency plan, a backup plan, so that we'll put you on a list, and if a route drops down, more than happy to give you a call.
Morning, and even what age, whether there's a curfew that might prevent them from being out at certain
Sure.
hours.
Kids that young have to get working papers, and the working papers allow them to be out during those hours. All newspapers do it. The Post-Standard, Utica Observer Dispatch, they all have kids who are out there that early morning. Unfortunately, not everybody has a mailbox that's out by the street that you can drive by, so we have to have people who are actually dropping the paper right next to your door or inside your door.
Yeah, I would think, except for maybe bad road conditions where, the kids are going to have to be careful walking around. The criminal element is not up at 5 in the morning.
Most likely.
That's when they're asleep. They'll stay up till 2 or 3 causing trouble and then go to sleep. So,
Right.
So hopefully they won't be around at 5.
But the caller brings up a good point as far as safety, and it's something that I think we want to look into a little bit more closely. Supplying flashlights, supplying reflector vests, things like that to help out.
Sure. Let's take another one. What would be the average that a kid could make, doing this?
It actually all depends on where the route is. If the route is closer by and they have a smaller area to walk, they make less. If they're way out in Vernon Center, Sherrill, farther out even that, will actually make a little bit more because there's a little bit more walking involved with that. Most likely the kids make about between $25 and $50 a week.
Which is doing a special, as you publicize this new 7 a.m. guarantee, you're offering a special subscription deal?
$29 for 13 weeks. We ask that you haven't been a subscriber in the last 60 days, but if it's something that you want to try, you've had the paper in the past and you want to try it again with the new earlier delivery, we invite you to call 363-5100, ask for Mark, my circulation manager, and we have an offer of $29 for 13 weeks.
Okay. You are going to be putting videos on your website?
Our website has actually made leaps and bounds in the last couple of months, so I invite everybody to go on www.oneidadispatch.com. We put a lot of content up. A lot of the paper's content is up there, not all of it, but we also put, like you said, video. We have the train derailment that happened last week. We have a fantastic video of that, as well as the cleanup. We also have different games on there, and we have all the Associated Press information that you would need, as well as links to other events or places that you can go to. The biggest thing, though, is content. The police blotter is up on the website, so if that's something you want to take a look at. But also, we go through and we try to categorize everything on the website. So we have a section for just education news, and we have a section if you want to go out and eat. We have a section for editorial, and we try to classify that. And a lot of content up there. So if for some reason you're away or out of town, or you move out of town, you can still keep up with your local news.
Good morning, you're on Open Line.
Good morning. With the changes going on at the Dispatch, I was wondering, is it still a journal registered company, or has it been sold?
Okay, thanks very much. Are you owned by the Journal Register? Is that your parent company?
I am. We have some very informed callers out there. We are owned by the Journal Register Company. We have been owned by them since 1997. They have 22 dailies and over 300 weeklies. And since we have been owned by Journal Register, we have actually expanded quite a bit. We also do the Oneida Chittenango Penny Saver. We have the Rome Observer, which is a weekly. We have the Life and Times of Utica, and a monthly magazine, the Women in Motion, which actually comes out this Friday.
And those are all published by the Dispatch company, or the company that owns the Dispatch?
Yeah, altogether we're known as Oneida Publications.
Okay, interesting.